Hello and welcome to Rule the Waves 3, playing as Japan on Super Large Plus Plus starting 1890. We have made it to 1915, this is episode 36 and we have a lot on our plate. It's peace, but we have multiple rebellions in China because of some revolution stuff there. It went from sort of imperial China to, I guess, nationalist China, new flag and stuff, and lots of rebellions. The typical 1915 start of year review. We will do the 5-year summary and look forward to the next 5 years. We will also look at the entire period from 1890. There are some ship design, including some destroyer designs from last episode that we didn't actually look at. We will develop a seaplane carrier and we will do some aircraft development. So let's jump in. Yes, so here we go with our beautiful 1915 analysis. And I moved the espionage intelligence part into the first slide there because having a separate slide on it at the very end there doesn't really do anything. So we have peace, but tensions are sort of high. Germany is in the yellow, but Great Britain, France, and Russia are all brown green-ish, so semi-upset with me. So I think we have potential conflicts brewing, not necessarily in 1915, but I would not be surprised if we have another war in the not-so-distant future. But remember that tensions will tend to drop because of the recent war. We've been following that in the turn logs all game long. That's a feature. We have lots of rebellions going on in China, and you can see China has a new little nationalist flag here. So Shanghai rebelled. They were already rebelling, so now we have three. We have Liaotung, Tsingtao, and Shanghai rebelling in Northeast Asia, and we have Hainan rebelling in Southeast Asia. So I've dispatched my fleet, already activated, partly in response to the first Shanghai rebellion last year, and or was it even before that? No, it happened early last year, yes. So yeah. But now tensions are high, so having an active fleet, that's fine. Have no alliances. Spain-Italy alliance holds. Really wish we could steal some more. I only think we've stolen 4 techs so far. Although maybe I've miscounted, but so if I missed anything, let me know. We keep building docks and keep getting events, so this number is wrong. It's 45,500, not 42,500, so pretty big difference there. It's typical when I start speaking, my cough acts up. So, world leading, shipyard, capacity fine. We're building lots of subs. I misunderstood my assignment, maybe, slightly. Because I have more than 15. I think I had 26 additional subs building. Probably because I was already building some subs and the event added those subs on top, if you understand what I mean. So I thought I had to build 25 or 26 from scratch, but I only had to build like 15 or 16. Unrest is down to 0, that is good. Budget is back up to a reasonable level, but more importantly, awesome resource growth. Look at this. No reparations or anything, just awesome growth. Colony resources declined by 30. I'm not gonna make a big point of that, but it feels weird. The relative value here has diminished by, well, relative to my other growth, this is about a quarter of what it would be worth at the start of the game in 1890. Why would the game feel the need to add further decline? I would rather say that colony values should increase as well over time, but not as much. Budget is back to 18, so that is a reasonable pre-war or peacetime level. 14 to 18 really, but 18 is better than 14. So massive jump in budget back to a sustainable level. We have a lot of ships on active now, so build to upkeep isn't what I like for peacetime, but okay, it is what it is. If we get a war next year, then it is money well spent. Economy is and fleet together I would call pretty much A tier. No one here can really touch me now, partially because of my position in Northeast Asia, of course. It's what makes Japan special. It's sort of like USA, but better, because we're even harder to reach, and we only have one home area. Yeah, US is very hard to reach for everyone and all of that, and I have to share my home area with Russia and China, but actually that is just an advantage. You should always pick a country that has some overlap in home area with someone else, so you always have someone you can beat up. Fleet size medium, growing. I have excellent fleet quality, and yeah, we have some obsolescent ships, but those are the best obsolescent ships on the planet right now, I would say, so good stuff. We have 4 BCs, 4 plus 4 BCs, 11 inch versus 14 inch. We have 4 more planned. We have 6 battleships, 4 building, 2 planned. We have 8 light cruisers vaguely planned. We haven't even designed them yet. We are waiting for 1,500 ton destroyers. Those are the future for the 20s. So while we wait, we build some 1,100 tonners. And research is also good. 12%, light forces down to medium, waiting for 15, 16-inch guns. Those will be important going forward. We have machinery, we have gyro stabilizer, fire control. Those are hidden behind the 15 feet rangefinders. So you can't see them without double clicking, because 15 feet rangefinder is sort of a more advanced tech. But they help with bad sea states, the penalty to gunnery. Damage control, armor piercing. We got triple tubes right after double tubes, and better torpedoes. Very useful now, because now we have destroyers with double, triple torpedoes. And we have better torpedoes, so suddenly destroyers are very deadly in under the right circumstances. HE better airships, and in addition to naval aviation heavier than air, we have shipboard aircraft operations, so we can start sticking aircraft on ships eventually. To the 5-year summary, I can just get So base resources continue to grow at a very rapid pace, 30%. We took 2 new areas, Sakhalin from Russia and Marshall Islands in the Central Pacific from Germany as war reparations. Budget modifier is down a bit. So actually there is just a few hundreds, 1,700 extra in the budget, but very big difference in budget modifier and base resources. Fleet size grows slowly, but that's because we scrapped quite a few obsolete ships. Global tensions have gone from extreme to moderate, but there has also been a war, so that's natural. This includes some war operations, of course, 5 points. We're stronger than we were in 1905. We're stronger than we were in 1910. We continue to rapidly increase resources. We continue to be without alliances. We continue to have a moderate but potent fleet. But now we have, I would say, fully transitioned into the dreadnought age. And the majority of dreadnoughts are not just these weird 11, 12-inch ships that are actually out of date already. Mine are 23 knot 14-inch ship, the majority of them, except one squadron of battle cruisers, but they have proven relatively combat effective. So very happy with the overall situation. called myself A tier earlier, but maybe B plus tier is more correct. Both US and Germany are a little bit more powerful than we are currently, both in terms of budget and in fleet size. So yes, B plus. But in terms of combat potential, I would say we are definitely up there with them. I would not be afraid to deal with Britain, but that is mostly because I am positioned where I am. But I think if we had North European holdings, I could hold my own anyway. So plans for the next 5 years, that's maybe more interesting. Get rid of undeveloped shipyards, but I have no control over that, so we'll just have to wait and see. We want to continue phasing out legacy ships. After 1920, I don't think any of these legacy ships have any relevance, and that is primarily because of their speed. The cruisers are 21 knot based, the battle pre-dreadnoughts are 19 knots. So I could only ever get them to 22 and 24, and that would be without bulges, so they have no torpedo protection. So going forward with more damaging torpedoes, one torpedo hit would basically sink them all. That's not viable, so you have to stick in bulges, and then 24 knots become 21, and 22 knots become 20, and suddenly they are a lot slower than any modern ships, and their defenses and offensive firepower is just not good enough. We will not spend any additional money trying. It would be like trying to keep your ironclads past 1900. So I'm gonna get rid of them. The only ships that we will cling to are our old small destroyers. They can always be repurposed. So more short victorious wars, but I have no particular plans. The only thing that's really interesting is fighting Great Britain now, I would say. But to do so, I would ideally have somewhat longer invasion ranges. But on the other hand, right now, Great Britain is burdened by very many legacy ships, old battleships, pre-dreadnoughts, and many of his dreadnought era builds are of the early type. That's a drawback of being an early adopter. Your stuff, you had it first, but now it's not as good as what your enemies have. We might have to fight China to reclaim some territories lost to rebellion. Other than that, I'm willing to fight anyone that's willing to fight me. So, quick recap of the whole thing from 1890, January to, basically January 1915 or through 1914, if you will. Now, battles and prestige, we are up to 92. Unfortunately, the game is designed so that 60 is sort of the cap. I have no idea why that is. So unless we spend prestige to do stuff, then it will stay flat at 92. Very strange. The spike there, it's still there. I guarantee it's some form of bug related to that same weird tonnage bug that Russia had. No idea what that is. But that's not the important part. The important part is we're Japan, and you can see we are steadily growing. Here is when I probably scrapped the last legacy ships. I got a little bit carried away. Here I'm scrapping a bunch of my first builds. Those ships I built from 1890 and going forward. Now we have a not inconsequential fleet. You can see some of the others have done some divestiture of older ships as well, but nothing as dramatic. Resources, you can see clearly the difference in growth rates. Great Britain started out way more powerful than anyone else, but have a rather flat growth curve. The US is the purple one here. This is just gonna keep going. Germany is also growing at a rapid pace, but it's gonna flatten out compared to the US. But you can see we are actually closing in on Germany ever so slightly. So at some point in the future, we will actually surpass Germany and Britain, and only the US will be ahead of us. Yeah, ships lost. This is kind of weird. Not even the France playthrough had the losses this light. We have, but we haven't really been fighting any of the peer opponents, and we've only been skirmishing with Germany. So we only lost that cruiser in the first war against China, and we've lost a destroyer here and there, completely normal. But we have certainly been damaged, we've been on fire, we've been torpedoes, but we seem to not sink. Well, I did lose that armed merchant cruiser or two, but I'm thinking major warships here. You can see we have lost quite a few transports, most of them to trade warfare, of course. So we talked briefly about initiating the damage control training thing instead of night fighting. I never got around to night fighting anyway, so maybe that would be a role-playing opportunity. Japanese ships refuse to sink, or we can just continue to accept the risk of stuff sinking and just not spend extra money on what I think is a rather small benefit. I cannot prove how big or small it is, but it feels like your damage control tax and your crew quality, that's the most important part. Oh, well, I was just gonna show some images. These destroyers were designed last episode, and I've included the files and so on. But I never showed them on screen, so the idea was while we wait for a modern 1500-ton destroyers, we need to fill in the gaps, because our 400 and 500-ton destroyers aren't really suitable for fleet combat anymore. Then that leaves just a handful of 900-ton destroyers, so we sort of have to fill in the gaps. So I started design, and this has 6 4-inch guns, 4 aft and 2 on each side, and it has 3 double torpedoes and 10 mines, and I was pretty happy with it. But then there it is in all its glory, 31 knots, not super fast, but nothing is going super fast, so that's okay. Second one is the Maki. I got the triple turrets, and when I auto-generated sort of a suggestion, it came up with this 2 5-inch guns, and then I got very excited, so I gave it a mixed battery of 5-inch and 3-inch guns, 2 triple tubes, 12 mines. It's very similar, same speed, same weight as the other one. Figured I'd mix them up in the same squadrons. Then we have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. That could be cool. So, yeah, I included this image as well, so you can see the main, the main difference is the main battery and the triple versus double torpedo tubes. Now, let's jump in and play. And we're back, 1905, just looking at these beautiful rings, but nothing yet. Sending some ships down to Southeast Asia. All of that covered in the last episode. I'll just click the button. I know. It's so funny, but it's so pointless. I mean, why, if it doesn't have any impact on the game, as a sort of real impact, why hit me with so many of these musician events? A spy from France. Well, are very aggressive and not at all likable, these Frenchmen. Superimposed X mount on light cruiser. Cool. Hydrostatic pistols. Oh, finally, we've been talking about that hydrostatic pistol for a very long time now. Okay. Small seaplane carrier. Okay. Shanghai continues. What about the other rebellions. They haven't died out. No? Rebellion. This one won't rebel as far as I know. So now I have a fleet here as well. So ships on station points 2. So I could probably send some additional ships. And do we have light cruisers? Battle cruisers. Could send some battleships in addition. How many battleships do we have here? Move to Southeast Asia. We need to talk about seaplanes and seaplane carriers. So normally I just ignore them. I just find them to be not super interesting or useful, and I just don't use them, basically. Yeah, whenever I do use them, I just feel that it is a waste of tonnage, or in terms of land-based air bases, I mean, you can have them for free on top of other squadrons, but I still find them just wasteful. So, but this time, since we are Japan and Japan had a thing for float planes, I feel that we are obliged to try to make some use of them. And maybe I will discover something interesting and that I didn't know or fully realize in the game before. So I will actually try to make a seaplane carrier right away, a small one. So this is a seaplane carrier, a small one, 1900 tons, 24 knots, 5 aircraft. That's the max. It has a hangar it needs to have. This box aircraft looks pretty big to be able to fit into that hangar. Maybe I should just delete the whole plane image, that it would actually look better then. No catapult because not researched yet. Gonna build a pair mostly for role-playing reasons. So this is it. The design will of course be included. Purely for scouting. The 1% scouting, 99% role-playing. Let's design that ship. Load design template. AV. Vikora. No. Graphics. Float plane medium. Remove visual. Float. Float planes. Medium, large. About this one. No, it's just as big. I think I'll just not have a float plane in the image, because obviously you can't fit 5 of those inside this tiny hangar, so looked weird. Like one float plane kind of. So minimal armament. We don't even need a director, but okay. So it doesn't have a catapult, so it has to stop. That's fine. How long until the submarines are ready? A long while. Southeast Asia. No, I want to do that myself. Average, above average. 9 commander. Keep. Above average is fine. Last month was just we have nothing to worry about. Now we have much praise. 2 subs, ladder shooting, fire control, always nice. This is actually pretty nice in terms of ship design, because less horsepower per speed. So you can get either more speed or spend less weight to achieve the same speed. Superimposed X mount on light cruiser. Yeah, stuff happening with light cruisers now. Improves invasion capability. Nice. No. Map. Yeah. Could probably invade this area now. I can reach Malaya. I can reach Solomon Islands. Not quite Fiji, but not too far away. This guy has been in range for a long time. So not a big deal. No one's taken anything here, so. And of course, Burma. Burma is the price here, right? Burma has oil. And yes, we are approaching 1920 when everyone gets access to oil. But you can still get the oil shortage event during wartime unless you have an oil producing area yourself. So taking Burma off the British, very important. So that's another reason why we might want to fight the British. Hong Kong, obviously, for its 200 base capacity, that would turn Southeast Asia into practically a home area because the basing, I would never have more ships than my bases could hold. You add Malaya has very low base. But Burma means that I don't have to rely on a random event or blitzkrieg giving me Sumatra. Now, normally I would just immediately crash this down to low because it's not important, but actually for Japan, it's kind of important, not the most important thing, but I would not completely discount it. So, submarines. Turn. Absolutely. Tetsu has worked up. Good. Why do I think I need to play Spain next? Spain is like almost like France. Home area in Northern Europe and the Med. Only a lot weaker, of course, but you can just not fight Great Britain and Germany. You could fight France. You could fight Italy, Austria-Hungary. So I guess, and you have a colonial empire. Maybe that should be my next playthrough. Yemen. At this face. It is not a happy face, okay? No, it's not the end of the world. But of course, not fun to lose a possession you fought and claimed. The base part is irrelevant, and of course the economic benefits is very slim. And this one we still have, so we don't lose all nearby bases. But I mean, still not fun. We tried to mitigate it with ships and had a fort there, so not much else we could do. Aircraft types, fighter request going through air. We can add an air unit here, not because oh, we are still developing it. Okay, yeah, we can soon add a little bit of aircraft. Ooh, looking good. Heavily armored, semi-fast, just generally good-looking, big ship. But very anemic firepower. 8 12-inch guns. Okay, we can bomb stuff. Not gonna be super effective, but I mean, stuff. Okay, now we can look at some fighter development. This is the one we got from a private venture. And can look at these others here. This one has more firepower. I mean, firepower is significant for fighters to be able to shoot down not only other fighters, but attack craft. And as a rule of thumb, having firepower 4 is where the fun begins. That's probably like heavy machine guns or many machine guns or something like that. This is very early World War One firepower, biplanes, that sort of stuff. Problem I would say is that 3 isn't that much of an improvement, and this is actually an incredible downgrade in terms of range and everything else. So in this case, I would actually just keep this this fighter. Cancel, and the float plane is ready. Oh, that's interesting. Tension minus rebels. Definitely. They want to fight. What? I was promised tension. Let's build 2. Because we can. We want to. Destroyers are building. I might build some more. 4 battleships. Building. I can't quite bring myself to start 2 more. I should probably start some other builds instead. More destroyers, for example. Let's second. We don't want to activate any of this. No. We need to consider what to do with our good friends here. If we do this, we can have an acceptable minesweeper, even have a few mines of our own. So rebuilding 19 ships. Almost free. These 400-ton ships. I could not easily. No, that's the wrong group. 500-ton ships. These guys, I could not easily rebuild them without changing the engines, if you remember. Cannot take off the last torpedo because then the ship just disappears. So this is probably seriously overweight, so it's not a legal rebuild. So, but I was thinking we could just wait until we had some additional mine thingy gear and put this to medium, see if we can get more depth charges. And then this could be a dedicated ASV destroyer. Build ship. Months left on second batch. Yes, we want a naval patrol aircraft. The only real factor for naval patrol aircraft is range, especially at this stage. The further they can go, the more they can see. You can always discuss speed later once they have a super long range, but range helps with detection, it helps with anti-submarine warfare, it helps with so many things. So range it is. How unimpressive. Tension, tension. More torpedoes. Jesus Christ. What about suppressing at least one rebellion? That would be impressive. Let's build another round of Makis as well, since we're going all in on the renovation of destroyers. Then we don't have to think about waiting for those 1,500-ton destroyers and superimposed mounts. And yeah, it's better to just build these 1,100-ton guys. Don't think... Well, we are on active, so let's give him a round. Congo. Cheaper hulls, or lighter hulls, I mean. Okay, I find that peculiar, but whatever. Almost like it's rigged. But when you lose one, you might as well lose all, and we can sort of reclaim them in any one war. So now we have a rebellion still here in Tsingtao, and this one is still ongoing. It is very much a random thing anyway, so I have absolutely no impact on it. But economically, it doesn't really matter. We lose that 4-inch battery in each of the locations, and in Shanghai we had one of those meaningless airship bases. We lose that as well. But economically, it's nothing. It does make fighting China again more interesting, so I guess there is a silver lining to this. You could actually scrum this and sort of try several times, and suddenly you will get lucky and the rebels are suppressed. Otherwise, you would have to go into the save file and manipulate the rebellion value or something like that. But obviously, we're not going to do that. So 2 of 4 have broken away. Yeah, one thing about these invasion radiuses, they increase slightly with year as well, not just the text. So that's something to keep in mind. We will back our ally unconditionally to get more budget and more tension, of course. But now we immediately get the 1,500-ton destroyers, of course. But now we can, now I have built 40 1,100-ton destroyers, and that's fine. 40 plus like how many? 40, and we have these 900 tonners, 40 plus 40. So that's 80 total. So that's a good active fleet of destroyers, I would say. These are obsolescent, so we are definitely going to rebuild them. But I was kind of hoping I'd have extra depth charges to stick on them. I guess we can just rebuild them right away just to get rid of that modifier. Some mines on them. We have 46 tons left. Let's wait. Let's just wait. Division editor. But we must do the following. We must take these small destroyers. 500 tons. Remove from division. 600 tons. Move from division. These will be put into minesweeper divisions. These will go into sub-hunter divisions or trade protection or whatever. Eventually to be joined by these guys. Yeah, we already saw that one. Airship bomb armament. Yeah, airship, I have like seen the airships hit once in a whole campaign. So, this clearly is the winner. It has by far the longest range, and at this stage, that's the only thing that actually matters. Oh, yay! Now, we lost 2 of the 3 areas in here, and Japanese High Command are now extremely paranoid, so they are building an extra 4-inch and an extra 6-inch in each area. The 6-inch is for role-playing reasons. I don't want to just spam 4-inch. And they also fear a rebellion here in Korea. The Koreans are very disagreeable people. Now, do something similar here. We don't like rebellion. Forts cost a little bit to build, but not so much to maintain. That's rebuild or just an old template. Could sink this blindfolded bombardment. Yay, we crushed them. Okay. 2 of 4, not too shabby, I would say. 4 of 4 would have been cooler, but we got them in the end. This is a home territory for us. I don't think it can rebel. Some strange reason. Maybe I'm mistaken, but okay. It can have more heavily fortified other key areas as we advance. We are in December, so pretty close. Big boys are nearing completion, so then we can start the final pair. 500 tons, so we have quite a bit of leftover tonnage, even without changing the tonnage here. I will have a quick think about that. This is a sportsman event. I find it hilarious and annoying at the same time. What would you recommend? There is tensions leading to war. No, I don't want an agreement with anyone. Yeah. Great Britain, no, sorry, the US is someone we could try to enter an alliance with. It could be pretty useful given how big Great Britain is, and there is some overlap between Great Britain and the US, so that's definitely a possibility. It's never wrong to have an ally. Doesn't produce any results. There is some downside to trying because we could have had a budget increase and some additional tension. So better range. Secondary director, this is very nice because so far only the main battery is affected by our fire control. So now we can have secondary battery and light cruiser main battery. Another private venture. It is faster and tougher, but that's not relevant. Range is relevant. Oh, we get some more attention anyway, so who needs help with that? Yeah, we are in January, so we have to do a little bit of review. I haven't started any air groups yet, so but we could look at, we have a naval air patrol aircraft developing. We have this fighter with, yeah, so we can try for a fighter. Firepower and range. See if we get something better. Probably not, because there's almost no chance, I think, of getting firepower, high firepower at this stage. But we could try. We have nothing else to do. And our subs are almost done, so that's a lot of money. That's 1200 plus 2000, quite substantial. And after that, we will have I would say, a sizable subfleet. 34 subs, that's the biggest subfleet in the world. Good. And that concludes episode 36. It was an interesting one. Lots of tension. I'm very much hoping for a war with Great Britain. The rebellions have either died down or broken free, so there are two areas, Liaotong and Shanghai, that we need to reclaim at some point. But more on that in the future. So thank you for watching and see you again soon.